Detroit, 1913. You are exhausted. You work 12 hours today, 12 tomorrow, 6 days a week. Your employer, Henry Ford, is watching you. Not to look out for you, because he is calculating. Ford watched his workers every day. They made mistakes. They quit. They showed up beaten. But Ford noticed something else. His workers had almost nothing left after food and rent, no free time, and no money to use it. They built his cars. They couldn't buy one. In 1914, Ford doubled his workers' wages. Critics said he was destroying capitalism. Within a year, workers stopped quitting. Better conditions didn't cost him money. They made him money. In 1926, Ford took it further. He cut their hours, 5 days, 40 hours, same pay. Every competitor called it reckless. Ford called it strategy. But Ford didn't invent this idea. He borrowed it. Ford's calculation was not original. The idea had been tested before. 100 years before Ford cut his workers' hours, another factory owner had run the same experiment. Ford wanted customers. He needed workers who could afford to buy what they built. Robert Owen wanted something else entirely, something most factory owners in 1817 considered far more dangerous than any labor strike. Not that workers deserved rest. That rested workers produced more. He had run the numbers. He had published the results. No one in power had paid attention. In 1817, Mr. Owen ran a profitable cotton mill in New Lanark, Scotland. He cut his workers' hours. Output went up. He published a slogan that crossed Europe. 8 hours labor, 8 hours recreation, 8 hours rest. In 1856, stonemasons in Melbourne, Australia, changed that. They walked off the job and refused to return. Their employers gave in. 8 hours. The first time any organized group had won it. The victory didn't spread quickly. In Chicago, May 1886, workers were demanding the same thing. 8 hours. That was all. Tens of thousands walked off their jobs. 3 days later, a bomb exploded at a workers' rally. Police opened fire. Workers fired back. 4 strikers were killed. 8 organizers were arrested. 4 were hanged. The evidence against them was thin. The verdict was not. The movement grew anyway. From Owen's slogan in 1817 to the first federal law in America. 71 years. What finally broke the resistance wasn't justice. It was Ford's production data. When the most profitable factory in the world proved that 40 hours produced as much as 54, the argument against shorter hours collapsed. In 1938, the Fair Labor Standards Act made 40 hours the legal standard. The workers who died in Chicago never saw it. 3 groups wanted the 40-hour week, for completely different reasons. Workers wanted to stop dying for someone else's schedule. They had been demanding it for decades. Ford wanted customers. A worker with no weekend buys nothing on the weekend. His workers were the ideal customers, but only if they had free hours to spend. He wrote this precisely. The owner, the employees, and the buying public are all one and the same. Governments wanted the strikes to stop. A legal standard was cheaper than permanent civil unrest. None of them agreed on why. All of them agreed on 40. That is why the number stuck. Not because anyone calculated it was optimal for human health, because it satisfied 3 separate agendas at exactly the same time. The schedule you follow every week was not designed around how human beings work best. It was designed around how economies grow. But the idea behind it is older than Ford by 3,000 years. In ancient Babylon, certain days were forbidden for work, not for rest. because working on those days brought bad luck. The king could not change his clothes. The physician could not treat patients. Every seventh day the city slowed down. Jewish law reached the same rhythm through a different path. 6 days of work, 1 day of rest. Not superstition, a divine command. 2 civilizations, no contact with each other. The same interval. The 7-day rhythm was already ancient when the first factory was built. Productivity researchers agree. Most people do their best work in 4 to 6 hours a day, not 8. 40 was chosen to match an economy, not a human body. You already know this. You have had days where 2 focused hours produced more than the rest of the week combined. You have sat through afternoons where the clock moved and nothing else did. Companies that moved to 4-day weeks found what most workers already knew. The same results Owen found in 1817. The same results Ford found in 1926. The debate keeps returning. The same question every civilization asked when it tried to organize human labor. How much work is enough? The Babylonians answered with a 7th day. Ford answered with a profit calculation. Governments answered with law. The number keeps changing. The question never does. The playbook is older than you think. If you made it this far, you already know this is the kind of history that changes how you see things. Subscribe. Ford gave his workers Saturday in 1926. 100 years later, not everyone got it. In Brazil, the legal work week is still 44 hours. In Japan, people die from overwork. The weekend is not finished yet. That's next.